Okay, so I may have jumped the gun on Spa-Francorchamps. Turns out we're heading to Great Britain first. My mistake, but if you're going to be wrong about a racetrack, this isn't a bad consolation prize, because this is Silverstone, the home of British motorsport, a cathedral of speed, a battleground of legends. From cops to maggots and Beckett's, from the hangar straight to the roar of the crowd at club, few places demand as much from a driver and give back so much in return. And with round 5 marking the halfway point of this championship, the pressure is rising. Every mistake is magnified, every opportunity matters. The contenders are beginning to separate from the hopefuls, and there's still time for the unexpected to rise. Step in, this is where legacies are written. This is round 5 of the ISR AIC, and it begins now. Welcome along everybody. I'm joined again by the lovely Craig McDonnell in the commentary box. Craig, welcome back for the first time this season.
Thank you so much. Hello ladies and gentlemen at home. It's a pleasure to be back, and what a time to be back exactly at the halfway point of the season. And you know, it is still all to play for. Look, there you go, Douglas Hanson back-to-back top 5s. Can he make it again? Let's see. But obviously we are at the beautiful Silverstone Circuit. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Silverstone. Nestled in the heart of Northamptonshire, England, Silverstone Circuit is often dubbed the home of British motor racing. Silverstone has hosted some of the most fantastic, iconic and dramatic moments in Formula 1 history. Since staging his very first Formula 1 World Championship GP in 1950, the circuit has been a cornerstone of the sport and a fan favourite for decades. This track's high-speed corners such as Mackett, Beckett's and Copse demands precision, courage and finesse, making it a true test for drivers and a spectacle for fans. This circuit today will really separate the men from the boys. Silverstone is also renowned for producing some thrilling battles, risky overtaking manoeuvres and pushing the drivers to the absolute max. And who can forget the passionate crowd that pack the grandstands each year without fail. So we hope today, Toby, this race brings just that.
Absolutely. Like we say, we've had some great races in Britain's over the series championships, but we have not raced here since season number 2. So jumping into qualifying, Craig McDonnell has an unsuccessful day and qualifies P22, but championship leader Jonathan Carrera only manages the second to last position. Colin McAllister lines up P20 alongside Marcus Town and another championship hopeful. Tom McDonnell will line up P18 alongside Josh Martin. Christian Razilov, last week's race winner, very disappointing day. He is alongside the man he battled for the win, Craig Evans. It's an all JR1 Daytona following Josh Wood's penalty. Originally qualifying P9, puts him P14 on the grid. Kevin Jacobs lines up alongside Ed Cantwell for 12 and 11. Callum Spencer then takes his first top 10 in a while. Toby Byrne then P9. Then it's Reinhard Ecker, another man with a penalty, actually qualified P3 on the road. Watch out for him today. Qualifies P8. Gareth Lennon, P6. Then it's Christopher Pettersson, taking another top 5 start position for Nemesis Racing Team. Douglas Anderson qualifies P4, continuing that trend of ART. And it's Jack Tolchard, the home man, taking pole position alongside Zach Swader, his highest start in the AIC since his return to the series. So it will be the American and the home British man. We've seen how good Jack Tolchard is off pole position on these ISR AIC races this season. Can he do it again today? Can he finally convert it to a win? It's 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Not much time held there at all. And it looks like Zach Swader is alongside Jack Tolchard coming into turn number 1. Who is going to have the advantage going through turn number 1? Essentially flat. But Swader pushes Tolchard all the way to the outside. Is he going to get the move done? No. Tolchard holding on for the time being. As we come into the next set of corners, and Swader again looking for something down the inside of Jack Tolchard. Nothing doing. He's going to have to look for the better exit on the outside. Looking to switch back. Nothing at the moment. See a little bit of chaos in the background. But everyone looking like they're getting through well so so far. Multiple cars going side by side as we come onto the straight for the first time. Gareth Lennon going a little bit wide off the road. That's going to give an opportunity to the defending world champion Douglas Anderson going to the inside of Gareth Lennon to make the first big move of this race to get himself into the top 5, because he has lost the position off of the start, I think, to Lennon. So he's looking to go all the way around the outside. Nothing doing here. He'll have to switch it back to get back underneath Lennon, but nothing doing, and we're off and firing on all cylinders, Craig.
What an opening start. You see there, Douglas Anderson was really trying to gain that position back, which he lost. As you can see here, on board with Toby Byrne, and obviously with Craig Evans pushing from behind as well. They will have a point to prove today. As you can see here, just almost pushing a little bit wide there. Andrew Pavia just making sure that he's getting his elbows out for the day already. And you can already see, Toby, that there's already so much attacking threat from everybody. So does this look like it's going to be one of those days where it's just attack, attack, attack? What do we think?
Silverstone always promotes fantastic racing. We see it year in, year out, and Zach Swader is looking to build upon that heritage. He's within 0.2 of a second of the hometown pole position race leader Jack Tolchard, looking to make a comeback. It's his highest starting position in quite some time, and Swader getting very close to the back of Tolchard, pushing him through the final chicane as we come through now. It looks like Olav Odven might actually have a little bit of a look. Oh, he has a twitch on the rear there, and he's going side by side, and a virtual safety car is being called as we'll wait for the countdown.
Virtual safety car in
Virtual
effect.
safety car deployed. I don't know what has happened, Craig, but everything comes to a stop for a moment and allows us to catch our breath, and that is what's happened. Craig Evans off in the dirt.
Well, here we go. Here's the replay. We're on board with Jonathan Carrera. He goes a little wide going into the turn, and I'm just wondering, like, I don't see his mirrors anyone around. It says, he just locks up and just straight off, but luckily, he caught it. But luckily, he didn't go into the gravel trap or anything and end his race right there. So he's now got a big gap to catch up. But here we go. We're on board with Craig Evans. Hopefully, this will be the incident that we're waiting to see. He's got not a bad exit. He's on it. And he just seems to drive into a barrier. Like, he just decided to, didn't like that pitboard anymore. And that looks like it either damaged something in his car, Toby, and that looks like it could be Craig Evans out.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what to make of that. It looks like he went to go into pit lane and then potentially a very late call to stay out as he tried to swerve back out of the pit lane. See Andrew Pavia, that obviously really messed up his line and compromised him quite severely as he gets all squarely on the exit. And I think we have a car coming down the inside of, I think that's Ed Cantwell, but then the virtual safety car is deployed, of course. And this is from the fan perspective. And we can say, understandably a lot of cheers from the crowd there. But it does just seem as if he... and then the cone comes back for some revenge at the end. But yeah, to me that looks like he just received potentially a call for a strange strategy to pit on the first lap and then really quickly backed out of it at the end and forgot there's quite a heavy bollard there which has written off his rear suspension. Craig Evans with one of the more awkward DNFs we will see this season, I'm sure. But meanwhile, we are back under racing conditions, and it's actually Olav Odven who is making the charge on Zach Swader. Now we can see, looking back, Ed Cantwell getting into it with Josh Martin, the other sim staff. So side by side, the two Brits will go, and then there's Tom McDonald just behind these two as well, if anything is to go awry. Ed Cantwell to the inside, and the door shut firmly in his face by Season 2 champion Josh Martin. He knows how to battle wheel to wheel, and Tom McDonald now under some pressure behind from Marcus Townend, looking to go all the way around the outside, but these cars are famous for washing out, and there goes Townend for a trip into the gravel, gets onto the dirty stuff and cannot make any use of that positioning on the circuit, and Craig McDonald as a result gets held up, and he's now under pressure from Colin McAllister behind, but he is going to turn the defence into attack up the inside into Cops for Craig McDonald, not Tom McDonald, sorry, Craig McDonald, but he is unable to make it work, and that leaves him a little bit compromised because there is a Jonathan Carrera. We said he had some work to do to catch up. He's already back on the rear of these two, of course, championship leader. Quite a disappointing qualifying today, Craig, but evidently still pretty quick.
Indeed, and as I say, we're only a couple of laps in, and from the beginning we did say this circuit brings some thrills and spills, and we're surely getting that in abundance. So here we are, on board with Gareth Lennon. I thought he was just touching the grass a little bit there, just taking it nice and easy as he goes in, sitting in nice. Pettis in front just gets a little twitch. Will that give Gareth an open door? No, he's playing it safe. As we can see there, Zach Swader is taking the fastest lap. So we've got one of the Northern Light cars up in second, and Douglas Anderson is just like, sorry, he's just like, I'm going to barge my way through, but then the door was shut swiftly by Lennon. Will Douglas go for another attack? He was looking at it, oh, but then, again, attack firmly shut, but then it has to go into the defense mode. Toby, again, there's so much thrill and action going on. Are we going to see any more retirements potentially of this?
Tell you what we are going to see, Zach Swader going to the inside to try take the lead of the British Grand Prix from Jack Tolchard, who has led from pole position, but nothing on this occasion. As we go to this wonderful panning shot, we can really see the difference in race lines here, and Zach Swader makes the first attack. That's the first move, the first potential chink in Jack Tolchard's armour, and as that, the first showing of the cards for Zach Swader. Well, Jack Tolchard now expect that. It's all mind games at this stage as we come through Copse, but the top three sticking together like glue. There is 0.5 of a second separating first to third. There is absolutely nothing in it as Zach Swader desperately tries to cling his way into the race lead, but he looks like he actually might be getting caught out a little bit by the dirty air behind a Jack Tolchard, as we can see from this helicopter shot, and he's got to watch out for Olav Odven, who is really not too far behind the man who has really had no luck this season, but was a dominant force in consistent podiums, took it all the way to the championship battle on the fact he didn't win a race last season, but he was just so consistent on the podium. So Olav Odven is a man who is long overdue a win, and he's looking to get involved, to be involved in that conversation today as we come into the final set of corners. And I think we can see a little bit of a ding-dong battle going on in the timing boards there between 8th, 9th and 10th, but the top three coming through, and Zach Swader still gluing to the rear of Jack Tolchard and just biding his time at this phase as we go back to that battle, and it looks like there is side-by-side action. Ecker, Blum, and I think that is Kevin Jacobs behind, and Kevin Jacobs to the inside. It's free wide coming into turn one, and I can't see this ending well. To the inside for Jacobs, and it doesn't. Contact. Blum speared clean off the road, and the man who got taken out last week by Reinhard Ecker is taken out by the same man again, and a virtual safety car is called once more. Philip Blum, Reinhard Ecker, but this time the inclusion of Kevin Jacobs, and it all comes undone, Craig.
Yes, 3 wide into that turn just does not go, and as you can see there, Blum is not very happy. There's definitely people there. But here we go, we're on the board with the replay with Kevin Jacobs. You see he gets a great exit, so he's looking at the overtake, but just surely by this point he looks at it and goes, I can't make it, and backs out, but no, he carries on going, and it's just a domino effect into one, into the other. And unfortunately, Blum is the one that has to take the biggest hit. So here we are on board with Ecker. You can see again, he gets not a bad exit. He's looking at it, and again, he's probably like, no, I can't make it. Oh, can't make it stick. But then out of nowhere, hello, domino effect, gets hit. And again, manages to catch it and keeps himself going. And here we go. Here's the unfortunate Philip Blum. Again, he sees it. Oh. Catches a little bit of a drift, but catches it himself, and then again coming out still a bit going crazy, and I think that's where the gap opened up on his inside. But here we go, it goes to turn in, bang, bang, and then unfortunately he finds himself in that gravel, in that sand, and he is just not getting out of that. That's an unfortunate day for Blum, but from on board with Callum Spencer from behind all this action, that he's looking at this going 3 wide into this bend, this isn't going to mix, I'm going to back off, and yep, he's just like, right, I'm staying out of this. So I do not blame him one bit on that one. Here you go, Douglas Anderson, another view from the rear, coming from the final bend, as you can see, 2 wide, then we go to 3 wide, as we've said many times, 3 wide into the bend, does not mix, bang bang, see you later. Oh well, Toby. Philip's not going to be happy with that one, is he?
He's not, and it's the second time in 2 race weekends he's been taken out when in a point scoring position. Blum, one of the few drivers remaining who is yet to score a point this season, and that will not help NAR Nissan's fortunes. Their fate today rests rests on one man who's currently in P3, looking to make some moves on Zach Swird, but it looks like he actually gets caught out a little bit on the return to racing speed, so nothing doing at the front at the moment. Callum Spencer, a man who's had a bit of mixed fortunes this season, not scoring as many points as he would like. I don't believe he's scored since Australia, so he will be looking to right that wrong today at his Grand Prix essentially as well, the man from Wales of course, but the closest we get to Wales this season, driving the iconic West livery, which was obviously painted all over the McLarens of the late 90s, so this car is absolutely at home at this circuit. So he's all over the back of that man that we was just talking about involved in that investigation, Kevin Jacobs, and will look to make a move. Meanwhile, Gareth Lennon looking like he's going to the outside, switches back to the inside, dummy sold by the Northern Irishman up the inside of Christopher Petterson, looking to get himself into the top four. Gareth Lennon, much mixed fortunes last season, but this season really gets back to form and does take the lead just before his pit stop, so just make sure he jumps the queue in very good succession there as the first set of leaders pit. Douglas Anderson appearing to stay out, and I think that is Jacobs and Spencer also staying out, so a lot of guys going long, a lot of guys getting in bang on the midway point of lap number 5. Douglas Anderson leads, but can the guys on the pit lane make use of that undercut? Can Douglas Anderson make use of an overcut? Well, it's all fun and games yet to see as Callum Spencer on the hunt, Craig, for Kevin Jacobs.
As you can see there, the whole standings are going up and down with everyone jumping in and out of the pits. But one thing I did want to pick up was obviously the front three were on top and they were pulling a nice gap, but as you can quickly see there, the 5th place grip penalty for Jacobs causing the collision. And then obviously you had Petterson that was sitting in 4th on mediums, and he was at least 3 seconds behind. And then from 4th, I'd say back to about 8th or 9th, they were all within maybe a second, 1.2 of each other. So maybe their medium tyres just weren't cutting it, because obviously we saw Petterson came in when some of the soft tyre drivers came in. So maybe the team's just gone, hey, these mediums are just not cutting it. You know, here we are on board with Jonathan Carrero, the other West driver. There we go with Callum Spencer looking to go through the inside. Will he make it stick without any collision? Oh, just again got his elbows out and was just like, Kevin Jacobs, see you later, I'm taking that position. And Spencer makes his way up into 2nd position. And of course these drivers do need to stop, Toby, but it's just like, how far can they make these tyres go?
Well, this is it. You make a very good point, because we didn't actually see any change between the soft and medium tyres. Usually we see the soft tyres drop off in the latter stages and then the medium tyres become the favourable tyre, but we just didn't see that with Petterson, so perhaps these medium compounded tyres are just not as good as we expected. But meanwhile we had battles all over the hangar straight as Jonathan Carrera looking to go up the inside of Colin McAllister and claim another position back. The man obviously had a horrible lap 1 and was 5 seconds away from the next car, but he's really making moves and getting on with it here, and we can see Christian Vrazilov is now getting involved in this fight. And Jack Tolchard is also behind this, Chris. So Jack Tolchard, formal race leader, and he's caught up between a mammoth battle of these cars who are yet to pit, and they're still not pitting, and he's got to be so careful picking his way through, because there is Sweder and Odvan. So we have 1st, 2nd and 3rd net all behind this huge battle of these cars who have yet to come into the pit lane, and these guys are going at it hammer and tong, and they'll be slowing everyone down, and Vrazilov has been fed that information back. It is good for Anderson, it's good for the other car. Keep this battling up as these three squabbling amongst themselves now, Craig, as they try to find a way through. Olav Odvan, looking to go up the inside of Zach Sweder. Is he able to hold on to that position? And I think he might, you know. Is it side-by-side action? Is Odvan even going to get 2? Odvan, out of nowhere, has managed to get 2 for the price of 1 and goes up to into the net race lead, but now Zach Sweder wants a little bit of the action. As we come back down the straight, these guys, it's really important to remember, we have cars going also wide in the background. Zach Sweder looking to go back down the inside of Olav Odvan, but no, Olav Odvan has slotted himself into the net race lead, but this will be dramatically reducing the gap to those guys who are yet to pit, Craig.
Yeah, as you can see there, you've got a front 5 all on softs and everybody else is on the medium. So as you said, are these tyres starting to just drop off and now just backing everybody up into a train, as we see Hardecker just going a little bit wide. But yes, this at the moment for ART, as we know, Christian won last round, and we can see they've got 2 drivers in the top 5, and they make it stick. As we can see, Kevin Jacobs trying to go around the outside. Can he make it stick? Sorry, it wasn't Kevin Jacobs going outside, it was Carlton Spencer going around the outside. Oh, Kevin Jacobs goes a bit wide, trying to defend a little bit, but then he'll put himself under attack from Pettersson. As you can see, it's coming onto the Hanger Straight, I believe, and Pettersson is sort of just hanging in there behind Gareth Lennon. Oh, and locked up, and it's off. And that will not play favourably, loses 1 or 2 positions there, Toby, but as you can see, Toby Byrne is just got a little drift, but caught it nicely. But again, it's also on the hunt for getting himself in these points. Now, for this second half of the race, can these mediums actually play the field? As we can see, the tyre drivers are all hitting in now, and everyone is starting to filter back into the way they should be, Toby. But as you see as well, Jack Tolchard starting up on the front row is still keeping himself up there. Can he finish up on the podium this week?
I'll tell you what has happened during all of that, Craig. Douglas Anderson, who was steaming ahead, leading the overcut, has actually slotted back out into second place. As Razalov was told over the radio, all of this was very good for Anderson, and it's proved dividends. Anderson slots back out just behind of Odvan, and I think he has a 2-lap tyre delta to Odvan. So, as he locks up, really got to get those tyres up to temperature, Dougie, before we start going on the offensive. But Douglas Anderson, once these tyres are up to spec, he's probably going to be in the best position of this top 4. Olav Odvan leading a race, looking for his maiden victory in the franchise, in the series. Is he going to be able to pull it off today? Douglas Anderson, the reigning champion, really has not had much to say. Finally got on the board in Germany, but really needs something. Could he get himself back onto the podium this weekend? And he might do more than that, because he looks like he's got a very good exit and going up the inside potentially of Odvan. No, you do not want to make a move into Maggott and Beckett's, especially when there's so much on the line. Sweder and Tolchard are just behind as well, so there is really no room for error between this top 4. But Douglas Anderson chasing down Olav Odvan. It's the reigning champion versus the man seeking his first victory in the series. As we come down the Hanger Straight, Douglas Anderson is closing, he's getting closer, he looks to the inside. Douglas Anderson to the inside in Stoke Corner. Is he going to be able to take anything? And he doesn't look like he's got there just yet. Side by side action between Odvan and Anderson, and he does! The reigning champion Douglas Anderson takes the lead of the British Grand Prix, but Zach Sweder wants none of it. Zach Sweder wants to capitalise on this, goes down the inside of Olav Odvan. Olav Odvan defends, and that's going to allow Jack Tolchard to go down the inside of the final corner and get himself back onto the podium positions. And now he's side by side with Olav Odvan, and all of this is really helping Douglas Anderson escape down the road. Side by side action for third place on the grid. Olav Odvan on the outside, Jack Tolchard on the inside. Jack Tolchard to the inside. Is he able to take the position? He squeezes Odvan all the way to the apex, nothing doing, and all this squabbling, Craig, is bringing everybody behind into the conversation. The train we have, an lock up for Tolchard. Zach Sweder back down the inside for round number 2. Gareth Lennon up the inside of Ecker, who was sneaked up into these positions as well. Ecker now looking to make some influence on Zach Sweder, and he looks like he might, side by side onto the Hanger Straight, and he goes wide and then comes back onto Zach Sweder locking up in a braking attempt to avoid. Zach Sweder side by side and loses the position for now to Reinhard Ecker, as Toby Byrne now goes down the inside of Gareth Lennon. And what a crazy battle we have in these closing stages, and it's brought everybody into the fold, everyone but Douglas Anderson, who has drove off into the sunset, Craig.
As you said, this has brought everyone together, and one thing, Toby going a little bit wide there, but one thing I did want to call out is these drivers' precision not actually hitting each other. The little absolute carnage we just had then of like people going off, coming back on, nobody made contact, so that's a tip of the hat to all the drivers there. As we see on board with Zach Sweder for Northern Light Racing in 5th. He will definitely want to try and push to get himself on the podium today, and he's got a good exit. He's doing really well. He's managing them tyres very nicely. He's just seeing if Hardecker will make a mistake, but now he's sort of leaving himself have to go to defensive, because Gareth Lennon is also like, hey, I want that podium too. And again, everybody is looking at it. Look at this, with Toby Byrne looking to go down the inside, and then behind him, Josh Wood is just like, I'm going to maybe, no. Toby shuts the door, but then obviously Josh Wood is trying to look for it again to see if he can find another way through, but he's getting pushed by Gareth Lennon, and Gareth's going to try and look up the inside, and then when we've got Christian Razalov getting sideways,
negatively.
I know, and I thought he would try and keep it, but it does mean we've got a virtual safety car happening.
Virtual safety car in effect.
Virtual safety car gets us a moment of breath. What a crazy few laps we have just seen as everyone comes back out on the same circuit. And I'm assuming the stewards will want... Yes, stewards ending the virtual safety car already, so they're very keen to get this race back underway. Christopher Petterson clearly out of the way, and the race resumes once again. Gareth Lennon, half a second to Josh Wood, will want to readdress what just happened in that final chicane. Is he able to get that position back? Because he has a McDonald brother just behind him, less than half a second as well. I'm not sure which one it is. I think through position of where we last saw him, it should be Tom McDonald, but we'll come down the straight once more, and Gareth Lennon looking like he's getting left for dust a little bit by Josh Wood down this straight, and it is Tom McDonald. We can notice by the white helmet. So Tom McDonald, round number 1 winner, is looking to get himself some good points on the board today. He looks to the inside of Lennon, nothing doing, and he'll have to just stick with it, but Lennon falling further and further away from Josh Wood, so this might be a case of defence more than attack for the Northern Irishman. Here comes Tom McDonald, and the run down to Copse Corner in the slipstream is not really pulling that much, though. The slipstream from Wood to Lennon is still doing enough to keep him in this position. Everyone forming into a bit of a uniform position to keep things nice and calm. These are the closing stages. If you've got points, you'll want to secure them. If you're just outside the points, like Kevin Jacobs, you'll want to be full speed ahead. He's all over the back of Andrew Pavia as we come through Maggots and Beckett's for the penultimate time. Round we go once more, and in we come, and I see a little bit of smoke. There's been a lock-up there. There's been more than a lock-up. It's Tom McDonald. No, Tom McDonald. 2 laps to go, and his brother gets stuck behind him. There's a traffic jam as that car blows up in spectacular fashion. The car is now removed. Virtual safety car called as we get ready for a 1-lap sprint, Craig, but disaster for McDonald. 2 laps from the end. The engine lets go. We saw some failures in Germany, and it looks like, unfortunately, it is to say for McDonald, but we're ready to go once more, Craig, for the 1-lap sprint.
Let's go. That virtual safety car has now ended, and obviously Douglas Anderson has got a nice gap out front, but who will get the better points? Toby Byrne is really probably going to push this lap. As you can see, he's really trying to look up the inside. Will he make it? He did! He makes a stick and gets himself up into 5th position, and Hardek is getting so angry he's taken out a stopping board. But can he battle himself back? And we push backwards to Kevin Jacobs, and this little area now just looks like the gaps between each driver. It looks like this is where it may finish, but as we keep going further back, we've got Jonathan Carrero. Everyone's piling back here. We've got one of the Macca Motorsports. You've got everybody. Jonathan Carrero trying to go around the outside. Obviously, Christian Razzoloff, last week's winner, is also trying to keep it going, but these guys just need to try and bring it home. As you can see here now, we've got only a few more corners to go, and Christian Razzoloff is looking now. He got a great exit. Will he look to make the move on Macca Motorsport? I don't know whether he's too far back, Toby, but this little train coming into the final few corners, I think anything could happen here.
All very tight-knit. Unfortunately, this is for nothing more than pride. I think points are well and truly gone out the window for this bunch, but what a spectacle we've seen today. We've seen battles like this from lap 1 to lap 10. It has truly been an ISR AIC race for the ages. Craig McDonald looking to take on McAllister for anything, but we were going to flick to the front of the grid for this man, the reigning champion, Douglas Anderson. We can see the last time we raced here, it was Craig Evans for Scotland who won, and this time it's surely going to be Douglas Anderson. The Scots conquer Great Britain once again, but this one means so much more. For Douglas Anderson, it's not just a win, it's a roar back to relevance. Written off, overlooked, out of the spotlight, but today at Silverstone, Douglas Anderson stands tall. His first victory of the season, ART's second in succession, and in a flash, what felt like a fading title defence becomes a story of resurgence. The heartbreak, the pressure, the questions, all answered in front of a packed British crowd. This is what champions do. Douglas Anderson comes out of nowhere, 4th place to, I think it was actually 5th place, to first on the grid to take his first race and get into the title defence. Joshua Wood claims driver of the day with his impressive drive from 14th on the grid to 7th for net gain of 7 positions, but it's all about this man today. He looked like the championship was all but surrendered, but we might actually see a second half resurgence from not just him but ART as well. The team has finally found their footing, Craig. What an exceptional Grand Prix.
Yeah, Congratulations to Douglas Anderson for taking that win today. But as we know, ART won last week and win again this week. So again, Douglas throws another 25 points his way for the Drivers' Championship. Olav Odvent will take second with 18, and a nice accreditation to Jack Tolchard. Again, the Rookie of the Year is slowly showing why he needs to be he's in this car with a respectable third place and the last place on the podium. Zach Swader catches 4th with 12 points, going down to Toby Byrne on 10. Hard Echo with Team Disconnect catches the 8, and Josh Wood will pick up the 6. Even further down, we've got Gareth Lennon picking up 4, Callum Spencer with a respectable drive today, taking 2 points, and picking up the last 1 point is Andrew Pavir for JR1 Daytona, and Kevin Jacobs just missing out on 1 point today. As we can see here, the other Sim staff car, Josh is looking at himself going, my rookie's doing better than me. Do I need to start pulling out some results? I think he might. Marcus Townsend for Beechwood, obviously with 0. Colin McAllister, and then the one Macca Motorsport that did finish up in 15th. Christian Razaloff, last week's winner, 16th. Not a great race for him today with Jonathan Carrero, our championship leader, not getting any points this week. So we can see, it changes just like that. The rookie so far for Sim staff on 45 points. Toby Byrne throwing himself into the mix now on 39, and Douglas Anderson, today's race winner, on 37, Toby.
Yeah, Douglas Anderson on 37, and you know who else is on 37? Jonathan Carrera. And now for those of you who watched last season, we spent the last 3 or 4 races of Season 5 with these two tied on points, for the win of the championship, of course. And it feels a little bit like deja vu, but they're only 1 point ahead of Marcus Townend and 2 points ahead of Gareth Lennon. So they really need to make sure that they don't make any more mistakes. Tom McDonald 33, tied on points with Reinhard Ecker, also on 33. And then Olav Odvent sits there in with P30 points, and Christian Brazilov takes a win in Germany, but not today. That leaves him on 28th and the last man of the top 10 drivers. But yeah, Jack Tolchard, like we say, he had the penalty gained in New Zealand. That took him out of the running for Austria, which really hurt him. He didn't do much in Germany either, but he's really bounced back. Zach Swader is the man who leads the championship on the second page. He's on 28 points ahead of Joshua Wood, his compatriot and former teammate, I believe, with just 2 points between them. Then 3 points down to Craig Evans, who will really want to make sure he's the leading Northern Lights driver next time out. Ed Compwell is then just behind them, ahead of Chris Petterson on 16, and then Craig McDonald on P12, Josh Martin P11, Callum Spencer P10, and then Andrew Pavia P9, so nice and close in the midfield as well. Kevin Jacobs has 2 points, and I believe is our last point scoring man, and Philip Blum, my heart bleeds for him. 2 races in a row he's been on for his first points, in 2 races in a row, Craig, he has been mercilessly taken out in an accident that was no fault of his own. I really hope Spa comes together for him a bit more. Colin McAllister there on the end as well. As we move to the team standings, it's Beechwood Team RN on 75 points now, but the gap has closed massively to ART DHL, who are within 10 points. And then there's only 9 points to Simstaff and a further 4 points and 5 points to Team Disconnect and Northern Lights Racing. So the championship may look like it's spreading out a little bit, Craig, but with 5 more races to go, things are actually incredibly close.
Yeah, you are correct. So like you said, the top 5 are still technically within shout, but it is starting to stretch itself out as we've just hit the halfway mark. As you see as well, West JSR have bumped themselves up to 6 on 47, and Macca's Motorsport this week, obviously not getting great results, have dropped themselves down with 45 points. JR1 Daytona picking up 35. There's a 10-point gap there that they need to close. And then you've got CGM Motorsport on 34. NAR Nissan with 30, and then Nemesis Racing Team on 18, Toby. But yeah, like you said, the points are starting to pick themselves out.
They absolutely are. We are getting very close now. We are halfway through, and we still don't know who the title challenger is. The first man we see getting a little bit of a gap is Jack Tolchard, the rookie sensation. Wasn't able to pull it off today, but can he in future races? But today was about our defending champion. Douglas Anderson looked down and out, but are we about to see a resurgence from him and ART in the second half of the season? Join us next time to find out. Until then, it has been a pleasure. Myself and Craig will see you next time in Spa, and until then, goodbye.